Ever get that feeling, like you're out there in your garden waging a war,
Hmm.
but it's silent, invisible almost?
Right, right.
Well, today's deep dive, all about one of those tiny but mighty combatants, the lace bug.
Oh, yeah. Those guys.
Gardeners battling them, especially what? Eggplant, tomatoes.
Tomatoes, potatoes, the nightshades, they love those.
And thankfully, we're getting some intel today, strategic insights from Farmonaut, it's an agricultural technology company, on some organic control methods. So before we even get to battle plans, can we talk ID? What should we even be looking for? Because I'll admit, I'm not always the best at spotting the enemy until half my plants are like waving a white flag.
It's tough. Those lace bugs, they're sneaky. Masters of disguise. But here's the thing, they leave clues. So you gotta channel your inner detective.
Okay, I like where this is going.
So first, look at the tops of the leaves. If you're seeing patches, like they're kind of turning yellowish, or maybe even a bronzy color, that's a red flag right there.
See, now I would just think, oh, end of the season, things are dying back naturally.
Nope, not this time. Lace bugs, they've got this really specific way of feeding, and it basically messes up the plant's ability to photosynthesize, hence the weird color changes.
So it's like they're draining the life force or something.
Pretty much. And if you flip those leaves over, even more clues. You'll probably see these teeny tiny black dots.
Dirt. Please tell me it's dirt.
Not dirt, lace bug poop.
Oh, charming. Okay. Evidence noted. But the bugs themselves, I mean, talk about small. Aside from the CSI-worthy poop analysis, what else am I looking for?
Okay, so because they're not just like taking a bite, they're actually scraping at the leaves to feed. You might notice a pattern on the leaves themselves. This stippling, almost like someone took a tiny pin and just went to town.
Okay, I have definitely seen that on some of my plants.
Yeah, and then in really bad infestations, leaves can even start to wilt. And I'm talking like prematurely. They just give up. That's when you know you've got a serious problem.
Yeah, nobody wants a plant graveyard. So how do we stop this from happening in the first place? And this is where our friends at Farmonaut come in, right? They're not just about identifying the problem, they've got solutions.
Exactly. Farmonaut is all about a multi-pronged approach. No silver bullets, right? But it starts with surprisingly simple stuff. They call it cultural control.
Cultural control. That sounds very refined for dealing with bugs.
Right. It's like giving your plants the best possible upbringing so they can fight off those bullies. So, for example, proper spacing between your plants makes a huge difference.
Wait, so my tendency to cram as many plants in as possible,
Yeah.
that's actually helping the lace bugs.
You got it. Think about it. Cramped quarters, that means less airflow, higher humidity. It's like lace bug paradise. And regular pruning, too. That's key.
It's like a haircut for my plants.
Exactly. Get rid of any affected leaves. Just make sure you dispose of them properly. We don't want those lace bugs staging a comeback tour.
Got it. No giving them a second chance. That's step one. Giving our plants some breathing room.
Hmm.
What else? I'm suddenly realizing there's a whole world of garden defense I've been neglecting.
And it can be surprisingly low tech. Ever thought about physical barriers in your garden?
You mean like building tiny fences around each plant? Even for me, that's a little extra.
No, no, no. Nothing like that. Think simpler. Row covers. It's just this lightweight fabric, but it acts as a barrier, right? Keeps those lace bugs from reaching your precious veggies.
Okay, that makes sense. Like a bug shield.
Exactly. Oh, and here's a fun one. Reflective mulch. It can actually disorient those lace bugs, make it harder for them to land and feed.
Now this I've never heard of. What's in the mulch that does that?
It's usually aluminum-based. And it's that shiny surface, it messes with them, kind of like how we'd be thrown off if a disco ball suddenly appeared in the garden.
Okay, that's kind of amazing. It's like I'm giving my plants their own little greenhouses with like built-in disco balls for defense.
Yeah. Exactly. And speaking of throwing those lace bugs off their game, there's another tactic. And this one involves inviting some new friends to the party.
New friends. Please tell me we're talking about like cute garden gnomes with tiny bug-zapping wands or something.
Not quite. But we are going to talk about the power of beneficial insects.
Okay, now this is getting good. We're bringing in reinforcements. But before we unleash our army of garden guardians, we'll be right back after a quick break. Stay tuned.
And we're back, ready to release the Kraken, or, well, maybe not quite.
Not quite.
But we are talking about summoning some allies, right? to fight those lace bugs.
Exactly. Powerful allies, too.
Okay, so when you say powerful allies, I have to admit, my brain goes straight to, like, ladybugs.
Yeah.
But are they really that good at pest control? I always thought they were more like, I don't know, cute garden decorations.
Don't underestimate the ladybug. They're like tiny polka-dotted assassins when it comes to pests like lace bugs. And they're not alone. Lacewings, for example.
Lacewings. Okay, that name does not scream fierce predator to me. I know, right? Deceptive. But these guys, or, well, gals, I guess, they're voracious. We're talking hundreds of lace bug eggs and nymphs devoured just over a single lacewing's life.
Wow. Okay, I'm picturing with like tiny little knives and forks just going to town on those lace bugs.
Pretty much. And the best part, attracting these beneficial insects, it's easy. Just add some variety to your garden.
Okay, so my usual tomato-basil combo. Not going to cut it.
Tomatoes and basil, those are great.
Yeah.
But yeah, think about adding some flowering plants that beneficial insects love. Yarrow, dill, alyssum.
Okay, so it's like I need to build a bug buffet. Got it. But what if I need like even heavier reinforcements? We're talking tactical nukes in the garden.
If it's that kind of party.
Right.
No, but seriously, if you've got a really stubborn infestation, there are a couple other options. You can actually buy beneficial nematodes.
Oh, nematodes. That sounds intense. Are those safe to use around like my vegetables?
Totally. These are beneficial nematodes. They're chosen specifically because they target the bad bugs, but they don't mess with your plants or other good organisms.
So they're like, what? Tiny little soil superheroes? I like
Yeah.
it. We've got the air support with the ladybugs and lacewings, and then the nematodes are like the ground troops. This is a whole defense system.
That's the idea. And the best part is, it's all totally natural, organic. We're working with nature, not against it.
Speaking of working with nature, I know there are also organic sprays we can use, kind of like as a last resort.
Yeah.
What are our options there?
Right, right. So if those lace bugs are just super stubborn, neem oil is great.
Neem oil.
Yep. Natural insecticide. Disrupts their life cycle, but doesn't harm beneficials.
Yeah, neem oil. I swear, that stuff is like the all-natural cure for everything.
It's pretty versatile. And then there's also insecticidal soap.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
That's a gentler option. It basically dehydrates the lace bugs.
Okay, so we've got preventative measures, we've got our battle plans, but what about early detection? Is there a way to even know these little guys are coming before they show up?
That is where Farmonaut's technology really comes in. They're using satellite imagery to, like, totally change the game when it comes to pest control.
Hold on, satellites.
Yeah.
Like outer space satellites.
You heard right. We're talking farming from space.
Okay, this is blowing my mind. How on Earth, or should I say, how from space,
Yeah.
can they tell if I've got a lace bug problem in my little backyard garden?
It's all about the light. See, when lace bugs feed, even in those really early stages, it causes these subtle changes in the way that plants reflect light. And those changes, we can't see them with just our eyes.
Right.
But Farmonaut satellites, they pick them right up. Incredible accuracy.
So they're like, what, lace bug detectives from orbit?
Exactly. And because they can scan huge areas really quickly and efficiently, it means farmers, gardeners, they can get alerts about potential problems long before there's any visible damage.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like an early warning system for bugs.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear more about how this works in practice.
Well, what's really interesting is how Farmonaut combines that high-tech approach with this very grounded, down-to-earth set of principles called integrated pest management, or IPM.
Integrated pest management. That sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
We'll dive into the details
Right.
right after this.
So integrated pest management, IPM. It's like we're back in school or something.
Right. But it's way cooler than it sounds, I promise.
Okay, good. Because honestly, it does sound a little intimidating.
Nah, think of it like, instead of just reacting to problems, you're this garden detective, right?
Yeah.
You're out there monitoring, setting these levels, like, okay, this much is acceptable, but any more than that.
Yeah.
And then we got to take action. Those are called action thresholds, by the way.
Oh, fancy. See, I'm learning already. But it's all about like choosing the right intervention, right? Not just going in guns blazing every time.
Exactly. Working smarter, not harder. And that's where Farmonaut's tech comes in. It totally fits with this whole IPM approach.
Okay, so break it down for me. How does it all work together?
All right, so first up, you got to monitor, right? Scouting. That's where those satellites come in. Remember how we were talking about, like, they can spot those early signs of a problem?
Yeah, it's blowing my mind a little.
Right. So before we even know something's up, they're like, uh-oh, something's going on over there. Early warning system.
Okay, that's amazing. But then say they do detect something. What's next?
That's where the action threshold comes in. You got to decide, how much of a lace bug party are you willing to tolerate? What's your limit?
Right.
And Farmonaut can actually help you figure that out. They've got these data analytics tools so you can be really strategic, right?
Yeah.
Factor in your garden, your tolerance.
So it's not necessarily about wiping out every single bug. It's more about like finding that balance.
Right, exactly. Sustainable coexistence. And
Yeah.
then once you've got your threshold set, that's when you put those other tactics into play. The cultural controls, beneficial insects, and yeah, maybe even those organic sprays if you got it.
All guided by the intel from space. This is amazing. It's like having my own personal pest control command center.
Pretty much. And it works. I mean, there was this organic eggplant farm out in California. They were having a terrible time with lace bugs, like at their wits' end.
Oh no, poor eggplants. So what did they do?
They brought in Farmonaut, started
Yeah.
using the tech, combined it with all the organic methods we've been talking about.
Tell me there's a happy ending for those eggplants.
Not only did they save the crops, but their yields went up, like 30% increase.
Whoa.
Lace bug populations plummeted, something like 75% reduction. And the best part, they were able to cut way back on pesticides. So better for the environment, better for the bottom line.
That's amazing. It's like a win-win-win. The farmers are happy, the eggplants are happy, the planet's happy. But this is just the start for Farmonaut, right? What else are they working on? Because I'm kind of hooked now.
Oh, they've got some really cool stuff in the pipeline. One that I'm super excited about. AI-powered pest ID.
Okay, now that sounds futuristic.
Right. Imagine you just like take a picture of a bug on your phone.
Please tell me it instantly tells you what it is and how to destroy it.
Pretty much. No more squinting at those field guides trying to figure out what you've got.
That alone would change everything.
And get this, they're working on predictive pest modeling too, using all this data they're gathering to actually forecast outbreaks before they happen.
Whoa. So instead of always playing catch-up, we can actually get ahead of the game.
Exactly.
That is wild. It's so inspiring to see how technology can be used in these ways, right? It's not about replacing our connection to nature or our gardening know-how. It's Wow. like it gives us these tools, these amazing tools, to be even better at it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So for our listeners out there, feeling inspired, maybe a little ready to, I don't know, channel their inner garden warrior,
Yeah.
what's one small thing they can do today?
Just start paying attention. Really look at your plants. Check them out. Are those lace bugs up to no good? And then maybe add a few pollinator-friendly flowers. Invite some backup.
Yeah. Be proactive, be observant, and maybe, just maybe, don't underestimate the power of a little help from space.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive. Huge thanks to our expert for, well, being an expert.
Happy to be here.
And to you, our listeners. Thanks for joining us. Happy gardening, everyone.